friends. Today we're continuing our stream in Roblox Grow a Garden. Every time there's so much fun stuff to do. You can level up your garden, have a laugh, and just enjoy yourself. Make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. It's really important to me and helps us grow together. While I work on developing my garden, you can share your thoughts in the comments, give advice, or just chat with me. Together we'll make this garden even cooler. Listen, I was just thinking the other day, like, why is chewing gum such a magical thing? You chew it forever and the flavor is gone. But your brain is like, keep going, maybe it'll come back. And you're sitting there hypnotizing yourself with gum. And then suddenly you realize life is exactly the same. First it's sweet, then the taste disappears. But you keep stretching it out because it's a habit. And because what else are you gonna do? And it's stupid and genius at the same time. Like the entire hamster universe is held together by this endless gum made of chores, thoughts, routines, and random nonsense. And honestly, if every person carried gum with them, maybe there would be fewer wars because you can't really scream when your mouth is busy. The most you can do is blow bubbles, and that already looks goofy. So everyone starts laughing and the conflict is solved instantly, except there's always the danger that the bubble pops and sticks to your face. And then you're in a real battle with yourself trying to peel off that sticky nightmare, and you're like, why do I even live? But that's the real fun, because life isn't about fighting enemies. It's about fighting the gum stuck to your cheek. And by the way, I thought, if hamsters had gum too, we probably wouldn't even chew it. We'd just stash it in our cheeks and keep it as a golden reserve, like hamster crypto. Imagine stock charts showing mint gum going up, strawberry, gum crashing, and serious businessmen saying, where do you keep your assets? Oh, I've got 3 sticks behind my left cheek, waiting for the price to rise. And that's the real future economy, I'm telling you. And actually, I'm sure all the great philosophers secretly chewed gum. They just never wrote it down because they were embarrassed. But I'm not. I'm a hamster. I'll say it straight. Gum is a portal into random brain dimensions. You chew, and it's like you flip on a fan inside your head, and ideas just bounce around like crazy. Balloons in a room, and sometimes you think an idea is deep, but then you hear yourself and realize it's complete nonsense. But funny nonsense, and honestly, who even needs smart thoughts if dumb ones are way more fun? And fun is the actual meaning, because if you're bored, then something's wrong. And speaking of not being bored, if you're still here, that means you should subscribe right now, smash a like, drop a comment, because our goal is 1,000 subs. And if you subscribe today, you're officially one of the early legends who later brag, I was here before. The hamster became famous, and that's kinda epic, right? Be part of the story. Just write literally anything in the comments, even just the word gum, or invent a new flavor of future gum. And I'll see it and laugh, because that's how community works. It's like bubbles. You blow one out and someone else catches it and smiles. And that's the whole magic. And that's why I want us to build this hamster corner together, where we can just spill nonsense and still enjoy it. And sometimes I wonder if chewing gum is secretly training us for patience, like the universe is testing. Can you keep chewing something totally useless just because you believe it still matters? And most of us pass that test without even realizing, because we sit there chomping like champions. And that's kind of hilarious. Like, congratulations, you've unlocked level 100 in Chewing Simulator. And maybe that's why gum companies exist. They're basically life coaches in disguise, selling us lessons wrapped in fruity plastic. And I swear if aliens ever landed and asked what humans are about, we should just hand them a stick of gum, because it explains everything: short-term pleasure, long-term nonsense, sticky consequences, and if you swallow it. People say it stays in your stomach for 7 years, which is definitely fake, but also terrifying when you're a kid. and it makes you imagine your belly turning into some gum storage warehouse, like a secret vault, and honestly, I still half believe it. Because who's ever proven it wrong? No one's out here doing a belly scan with a gum detector. So for all we know, there are millions of people carrying hidden gum stashes inside, like biological vending machines. And maybe that's why some people are always so serious. They're just weighed down by ancient gum inside, and then you look at kids, and they're light and bouncy because their inner gum vault hasn't filled yet. And boom, that's my new theory of aging. You're welcome. And then another thought hit me, like what if gum was actually a currency back in the Stone Age? Imagine cavemen trading mint leaves for shiny rocks, and then inventing gum as the ultimate flex. Like, bro, check this out. I can chew flavor for an hour straight, and the tribe's impressed, and suddenly he's chief, because leadership isn't about muscles. It's about who's got the freshest mouth, and honestly, I'd respect that system way more than boring taxes today. And speaking of systems, our system here is simple. You watch, you laugh, you sub, you like, you comment, and we hit 1,000 subs, boom. Hamster revolution complete. And don't overthink it. Just hit the button. It's free. It makes me happy. And it means you're officially part of the hamster army. And I swear one day, when there are millions of us, you'll be able to flex to your friends. Yeah, I was one of the OG 1000. I chewed the first hamster gum. And that's the kind of legacy worth leaving, not boring statues or dusty books. But a story about how you joined a weird squeaky hamster talking about gum at 2 a.m. on the internet. And honestly, that's more legendary than anything else, because who's gonna forget that? And then I started thinking, like, what if every single thought we have is just gum in disguise? You know, first it feels fresh, minty, exciting. You're like, yo, I just discovered the meaning of life. But then you chew it for 5 minutes, and it turns into the same old tasteless rubber. And you spit it out and grab a new one. Which is basically how our brains keep us entertained, constantly switching flavors so we don't get bored. And maybe boredom is just the ultimate expired gum. No taste, no bubbles, nothing, just you sitting there staring at the wall wondering why you exist. And the only cure is to pop in a new flavor, which could be a new hobby, a random video, or just listening to a hamster scream nonsense into a microphone, which honestly might be the best flavor of all, because at least here, you're not alone chewing your invisible gum of existence. And you know how people say don't bite off more than you can chew. Bro, that's exactly what we're supposed to do. If you never stuff too much gum in your mouth, how will you know your limits? Sometimes you gotta go full chaos, 12 sticks at once, jaw working like a hydraulic press, drool everywhere. But you feel like a hero, like yes, I have conquered the chewing dimension. And maybe that's what success is, just daring to shove ridiculous amounts of gum into life until you can't talk properly. But hey, at least you tried. And I swear, that's why I love you guys watching, because you're basically chewing with me every sub, every like. Every comment is another piece of gum we're all sharing in this giant hamster jaw of chaos. Our goal is 1,000, but I don't even see it as numbers anymore. It's just sticks of gum we're collecting together. And when we reach that big bubble, pop, we'll laugh so hard it echoes through Roblox servers forever. And another thing, why is gum always advertised as making your breath fresh? Like, who decided our natural hamster breath wasn't good enough? Maybe our real power smell is hidden. Maybe gum is actually making us weaker, like some secret plot from Big Chewing Company. Think about it. What if we're supposed to smell strong, like warriors, and gum just tricks us into being polite? No, man, I'm not falling for it. I'll chew gum, but only as fuel for thoughts, not as a deodorant for my face. And hey, speaking of fuel, you guys are literally the gum that keeps this hamster jaw moving, because if no one watched or subbed, I'd just be here mumbling to myself in the void. Which is funny, but also kinda sad, So if you're listening, right now, be the flavor boost, click sub, drop a like, and comment something insane, like Hamster Gum Empire, so I know you're part of the squad. And I wonder, what if YouTube itself is just the biggest piece of gum ever created? Like, we're all chewing together, videos popping like bubbles, some burst instantly, some stretch forever, and channels are just different flavors, sour, sweet, spicy, chaotic. And we're here on the hamster flavor, the weirdest one they forgot to label, but somehow it slaps harder than all the others. And the beauty is, there's no wrapper, no rules, just endless chew. And that's kinda the dream, isn't it? To keep blowing bubbles without anyone telling you when to stop. And wait, here's a cursed thought. What if every time you spit gum on the ground, it doesn't just disappear? It actually starts a new universe where gum rules everything. Imagine parallel worlds with gum governments, gum kings, gum wars, and gum-shaped galaxies spinning forever. Maybe right now, somewhere out there, a gum version of you is chewing a human-flavored stick and asking the same questions. And that's so messed up, but also kinda awesome, because it means nothing we do is small. Even spitting out gum could create an empire. And that's why every little action matters, like your sub, your like, your tiny comment. They're not just pixels, they're parallel universes. Bubbles of energy that grow bigger the more of us chew together. So yeah, I'm sitting here, hamster brain running wild, gum still stuck in my teeth, and I can't tell if this is genius or the dumbest thing I've ever said. But that's the whole point, right? It doesn't need to make sense. It just needs to taste fun, and as long as you're still here chewing along with me, we're already winning. And you know what's even crazier? I started to realize that maybe time itself is just one gigantic piece of gum that the universe has been chewing since the Big Bang. Like, boom, giant cosmic bubble, and ever since then it's been stretching, and we're all just little sugar crystals trapped inside, bouncing around, while the universe's jaw keeps moving. That's why days sometimes feel long and sometimes short. It depends on how hard the universe is chewing that day, and if one day it gets tired and spits the gum out. That's probably the end of everything, just a cold piece of flavorless rubber stuck under some cosmic desk. Which honestly is the funniest and scariest theory ever, because imagine explaining that in school, children, the universe didn't collapse. It just got stuck under a giant table in space. And then I thought, what if dreams are just the universe blowing bubbles with that gum? Like every bubble is a dream world floating around, and when you wake up, pop, it's gone. But sometimes the bubble gets stuck in your memory like that. One weird flavor you can't forget. And maybe that's why some dreams feel so real, because the bubble didn't pop yet. It's just floating in the corner of your brain like, yo, remember me? And that's wild because it means even when you're asleep, you're still chewing, you never stop. Your brain just keeps the rhythm going. But here's the thing, nobody ever talks about the sound of chewing gum. Like, why is it so satisfying? To some people, and so annoying to others, it's literally the same sound, just chomp, chomp, chomp. But for one person, it's like ASMR paradise, and for another, it's torture, like nails on a chalkboard. And I think that's the perfect example of how humans are just different flavor palettes. What's minty to me might be garbage to you. And what's bubblegum to you might taste like heaven to someone else. Which is kinda why the internet exists, right? To find your flavor squad, the people who chew the same nonsense as you and actually enjoy it. And I'm glad you guys are here, because clearly you're the type who enjoys hamster-flavored chaos gum. And that's a rare collectible flavor, trust me. And speaking of collectibles, doesn't it feel like life is just Pokémon cards, but with experiences? Like you never know what booster pack the next day is gonna give you. Sometimes you pull a shiny legendary, like yo, I got free pizza today. And sometimes it's just another common card, like ugh, socks got wet in the rain again. But the point is to keep opening packs, because even the common ones stack up, and eventually you've got a whole binder full of random memories, and when you look back, it's kind of awesome. And maybe that's what subscribing here is like. You're adding one more shiny card to your personal binder. Like, yeah, I was part of the hamster chaos arc. And nobody can ever take that card from you, Dot. And if you think about it, comments are like trading cards too. Every time you write something, you're tossing a card into the mix, and someone else reads it and thinks, yo, that's a rare one, or that's hilarious, I'm keeping it. And that's why I keep saying, drop a comment, even if it's just one word like gum, because it's not just a word, it's another piece of the collection. Another little bubble that might float around and make someone smile. And trust me, every single comment adds up. Every single like, every single sub. It's not just numbers, it's flavors stacking, bubbles growing, packs opening. And maybe that's the whole secret. We're not here to find one final meaning or one perfect flavor. We're just here to keep chewing, keep swapping, keep laughing at the dumbest thoughts possible. Because the second you stop chewing, the world gets quiet. And quiet is kinda scary, so I'll keep my hamster jaw moving as long as you're here listening. And then I caught myself thinking, like, what if silence itself is just gum you forgot you were chewing? You know that moment when the flavor is completely gone. Your jaw's moving, but you don't even notice anymore. And suddenly you're like, wait, why am I still doing this? That's silence. It's not really empty, it's just invisible chewing. And maybe that's why silence feels so weird, because your brain wants flavor, any flavor, even chaos hamster flavor, just to break the endless tasteless loop. Which is why I'll never stop talking nonsense, because nonsense is the sprinkles on top of boring gum life. It makes it chewable again. And imagine if schools actually taught that. Like instead of 2 + 2 is 4, the teacher just walked in and said, life is chewing gum. Remember to keep it fun. Bro, I swear attendance would hit 100%. Kids would bring backpacks full of gum instead of books. And exams would just be bubble-blowing contests. The highest grade goes to whoever makes the biggest bubble without it popping. Tell me that's not the education system of the future. Forget math trauma. Give me Bubblegum Olympics. But then again, isn't YouTube already the Bubblegum Olympics? Think about it. Every video is a bubble. Some tiny, some massive, and everyone's just waiting for that one video that inflates huge and goes viral before popping. And that's why I keep screaming, because I'm trying to blow the loudest, weirdest bubble until the internet can't ignore it. And when we hit 1,000 subs, that's like the first medal. Doesn't matter if it's gold, silver, or made of old gum wrappers, it's proof that we blew a bubble together. And yo, speaking of together, isn't it wild how random strangers from all over the planet can chew on the same nonsense at the same time? Like right now, you're hearing this hamster brain dump, and maybe someone on the other side of the world is too, and suddenly we're all cinched up in the same gum chewing rhythm, even though we don't know each other. That's low-key beautiful. Internet gum orchestra. Every like is a drum, every sub is a bass, every comment is the squeaky trumpet noise when gum sticks to your teeth. And that's why I keep telling you, don't just watch, be part of it. Throw a comment in, even something like Bubble or Hamster Squad, because then your voice gets added to the orchestra. And the more random and chaotic it is, the better it sounds. That's what makes a community. Not perfection, but shared ridiculousness. And if we keep stacking that energy, one day this channel is gonna be like the world's biggest bubble, floating over Roblox, glowing neon, and everyone who subbed early will look up and say, yo, I helped blow that thing. And honestly, that's the real goal. Not just numbers, not just subs, but building the gum bubble so big it bends reality a little. Like, imagine YouTube itself glitching because the hamster squad got too strong. Imagine Roblox NPCs suddenly chewing gum because our energy leaked into the game. Imagine school teachers randomly saying life is gum because the meme spread too far. That's the kind of butterfly effect I want. Small chaos ripple, massive gum tsunami. And I know it. Sounds dumb, but that's exactly why it's fun. Because life's already full of serious lectures and boring news. So why not choose to chew on something completely useless but joyful? Why not join the hamster chewing cult? Why not be part of something that makes zero sense but makes you laugh? Because at the end of the day, when the gum loses flavor, all you'll remember is whether you laughed while chewing it. And then I thought, maybe laughter itself is just the bubblegum of emotions. Like you stretch a feeling out until it pops, and when it bursts, boom, you laugh. It's not even about jokes sometimes. It's just the brain saying, yo, this bubble is too big. Let's release it before it explodes. And maybe that's why laughing feels so good, because it's like spitting out old gum and replacing it with a fresh one. You clear your emotional jaw and start chewing again. Which means, technically, every time you laugh at my nonsense, you're just upgrading your gum pack. And that makes this whole stream a flavor factory. And let's be real, gum is the closest thing we have to immortality in snack form. Like candy, chocolate, chips, you eat them, they're gone. But gum stays. It doesn't disappear, it just hangs out, waiting. Living in your mouth rent-free until you get tired of it. That's low-key heroic. Gum doesn't give up, even when the flavor's dead. And that's the kind of energy I want this channel to have. Not just a quick snack of entertainment, but something that sticks with you, something you carry around even when the taste fades, and you remember, oh yeah, that hamster said some weird stuff about bubble universes. And what if gum actually is alive? Like, hear me out, what if every stick of gum has a soul, but it only wakes up when you start chewing? That means every time you're blowing bubbles, you're basically giving a little gum spirit its first flight. And when you spit it out, you're setting it free into the wild. Like go, little gum buddy, explore. All right, friends, that's it for today. Thanks for being with me on the stream, for supporting, leaving comments, and just having fun together. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. It's really important for the channel and for me personally. We'll keep growing our garden together, sharing ideas, and just enjoying the game. See you on the next stream. Bye-bye.